Hey, everybody, welcome back to Music Talks. I believe this is episode 9, and I'm so excited to have my friend Leslie here today. I guess I'll just give a quick intro. So, Leslie and I met through the church that I attend and work at in Milwaukee, and I don't know, I think we met through the young adults group there.
Kaleo.
Yes. And so, I don't know, we became great friends, and like, I think we just kind of kept in touch over the years. So, yeah, I know in the last year, or maybe 2 years, Leslie, you've done a lot with making your own music, putting it out there. So I'm so excited to talk about that process with you as well. But thanks so much for doing this. I'm so
Of
excited.
course.
Yeah, I'm just so excited to talk about music stuff today. So I'm wondering if we can start with like, do you want to just kind of maybe give, I don't know, some intro about like, how did you get interested in music? Like, how did you find out that you could sing, or what was that journey like?
Yeah, that's a deep question, Gabe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, music, I've always loved music. That's probably sounds like a generic answer there, but truly, like I always have. I remember my dad even saying like when I was little, I was probably like 3 years old or something, he'd be playing music in the car and I would be in the back seat, in my little, I can't even think of the name. Oh my gosh, I don't have kids, so I don't remember.
The booster thing.
But
The
yeah,
booster
like
seat?
like the seat, yeah, a car seat. There we go,
Yeah, there it
brain.
is. We got it.
Yeah, teamwork. So yeah, I was in the car seat, and he would like turn on songs, and I'd just be like dancing and
Mm,
all excited. And so I think I've always just been drawn to it, just the beats and the melodies.
mm-hmm.
And in elementary school, that's when I think I started to learn like, oh, I can kind of sing because my teachers would notice it
Sure.
and just put me on solos and such. And I remember one time too, I think it was first grade, I was put on a solo and I didn't tell my parents. So I guess I hadn't thought like this is something to tell my parents about. So we went to the concert and I like go up to do the solo in front of everybody and my mom was like, what?
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I like still remember the song and everything. So anyways, that was kind of me. I was a little shy about it. I think even through the years, I've been a little shy about the gift and just
Mm,
keeping it to myself a little bit. But I was always, I will say, like involved with choirs and things like that. I just group settings of
yeah.
singing is what I would prefer. And so did that in high school, like was made it to the top choir in our high school, which we didn't have a huge high school, I will say, but
Yeah.
did that. And then in college, I was part of the university gospel choir. I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison and joined that, which was really fun, a whole
So
different
cool.
type of singing. And yeah, it's just, I guess it's just always been a part of me. It gives me joy. And I think it's,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I love
yeah.
that. So for you growing up, what are some like artists that were your inspiration, or was there a moment where you heard a certain song and you were like, "Oh my gosh, I wanna like this is my jam, or this is my genre, or I wanna like this is what how I want to create music in this type of genre."
To be real, my genres are all over the place.
No, that's great. I love that. That's
When
awesome.
it comes to my music love, like I can listen to things like sad, moody rock,
Hmm.
that used to be really popular when I was like in middle school and stuff. And then I can listen all the way to like hip hop.
Sure.
And I used
Yeah.
to be against country, but now I kind of like it because the storytelling is great and sometimes it's not bad. So with that being said, I remember probably like the first artist that I remember being like, oh dang, she can sing. And mind you, my music does not sound like this because I just have realized I can't sing like her and that's okay. But like Whitney Houston,
Yeah.
like I remember first hearing her, I had a CD from the library because we would go to the library and like get content that way for
Hmm.
free. And I remember hearing her voice and I was like, dang.
Yeah.
But my dad also loved her and so, played the powerhouse voices a lot. And so
Yeah.
I realized though at an early age, like, I don't think I have this powerhouse voice, but I love
Hmm.
it and
Yeah,
respect it.
totally.
And I think that's amazing. And so right away I kind of understood like, okay, that's like a really great vocalist, like singer. And
Yeah.
I may not be able to hit that standard, but
Yeah.
we will try.
Yes, yes. That's awesome.
Yeah, so but all kinds of folks. If you're curious, like now, I guess
Yes.
inspiration. I don't know. Like some of these people you probably won't even know. Do you know who Enoch is?
No, I
You ever
don't.
okay, you should look him up.
Okay.
He's kind of like R&B
Okay,
kind of
sweet.
artist, dude. But I don't know. He's so his music is so different, I guess. And that's what I'm always attracted to. Music that's not cookie cutter or like
Yeah.
sounds the same as
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah.
It stands out to me, and so
Totally.
like atmospheric sounds and layers, and you can probably tell through my music a little bit of that, like electronic elements and such. And so I
Yeah.
think he does a great job at doing that, and his writing is beautiful. Who else? I'm not saying I necessarily agree with all the messages, but Arlo Parks
Hmm.
I like as well. Jensen McRae. So again, these might be people I don't know people aren't as familiar with, but
Yeah.
that's what I tend to draw towards. And then Victory, she's like a Christian artist. What's her famous songs? Can't think of them right now, but you've probably heard some of them. So I don't know, it just kind of indie R&B,
Yeah.
alternative, a little folksy
Yeah.
sometimes, storytelling,
Yeah.
like is what I get drawn to. Electronic, always loved electronic music too, I
That's
will
awesome.
say. It's like dance house beats. That's been
Yeah.
something I've liked since I was 3.
That's awesome. That's so great. Yeah, and like it's interesting like as you're talking I was thinking about like getting CDs from the library or
Yeah,
like getting inspiration from your parents. And I think it's like really interesting because I think from a young age before we are kind of finding music that we like on our own, it
yep.
probably is going to be from your parents. Like, you know, like for my parents, like my mom is a huge John Denver fan. So like we would
Mm,
listen to like, you know, kind of like folksy storytelling.
yeah.
But then my dad would have like he would have like, you know, Fred Hammond and
Okay.
Radical for Christ and then like Luther Vandross
Oh, I
and
love
like
Luther. He's
you
great.
know, so like gospel, R&B. And it was just like but like I think thinking back on that I was like, "Oh, this is just what I listen to." Like I don't think in my
Yeah.
head I was like, "Oh, cool. I like gospel and R&B and maybe some singer-songwriting stuff." You know, it's just like that's just like what's available
This
to
is what
you.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is what I
Yeah.
hear. This is what's playing when we're cleaning or whatever.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And I think it's so good to have as you're saying like such a well-balanced different musical expression cuz like I think we're in such a cool time right now of like being able to see so many different musical artists like
Yeah.
experiment and like
Yes.
you can kind of get to know like what people are making and it's like whoa I've never heard of this kind of you know music style before this is kind of interesting and like even if it's not your thing like I don't
Just
know just like
appreciate
trying
it.
it out you
Hmm.
know and seeing like you know where that comes in so uh, yeah so you also mentioned I'm just like curious now like you mentioned country like are
Yeah.
there and this is like a
Ooh.
new development ish for you.
Yeah, this is one of those. I have a Spotify playlist that I think it's the name is Country I Tolerate.
Nice, nice.
Literally. Okay. So if
That's
that's telling you
awesome.
something. Country I Tolerate. I would have to pull it up. Actually, let me see if I can pull it up really fast, see
Sure.
what's on there. Because if you're going to ask what's on there, I don't remember. If that wasn't your question, go ahead, though.
No, 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 that's great. I cannot wait to hear what's on this playlist because I think I like did a vacation in Nashville a couple years ago, and I was like, I was there for like a week. And I was like, I'm not a huge country fan, but I'm like, when I was there, I was like, if I lived here, I think it wouldn't take long for me to embrace it. Like, I could really see myself being like, well, I like country now. I guess this is who I am, and that's fine.
That's so okay. So I'm literally looking for it right now. I'm like, I think I must have another playlist because I'm looking at it. There's two. There's two songs.
Oh, that's
There's
crazy.
two songs.
That's crazy.
So either I sometimes I'm not great at updating my playlist, but I know for a fact I listen to more than two country
Yeah,
songs.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
probably sprinkled in somewhere else, but those two on there, you're gonna. This is hilarious. don't judge me for this. This one of the songs is "Drunk on a Plane" by Dierks Bentley, and the
That's
reason,
crazy.
the reason it's like I'm getting drunk on a plane. I don't know if you've ever heard that song. The reason why this actually, I did like mission work back in 2018, I think it was. No,
Hmm.
2016 for the summer. And this is when I really wasn't listening to country. But the folks I was working with, because we were actually doing it in Texas, East Texas, this song, they were like playing over and over for some reason back
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
And I don't know why, but for some reason I liked it. I was like, oh, this is so catchy.
That's so funny.
And so that's why that one's on there. The other one, I have to listen to it because I don't even remember how it goes, but it says, "If I Knew What Was Good for Me," Chris Young. So
Okay.
it just, it varies, but every now and then I'll
Yeah.
just find one and be like, oh, I feel that one, or I like the melody, or maybe
Yeah.
the lyrics are deep.
Totally. That's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. That's so funny. That's so funny that there's only two songs.
I
And
know.
I hope you never add any more because that's so funny to think of like you just like, all right, I'm gonna listen
Country
to my
Life
country
song.
playlist. Yeah, it's just like two songs on repeat for hours.
That is so fun. I haven't looked at it in a while, apparently, but
That's so
I
funny.
promise there's more than those two that I listen to. Yes.
That's so funny. Okay, so I want to talk about your music making process. So I think you and I were maybe texting about this like a year or so ago. Like, and I think you and I were talking about songwriting and all that stuff. And I remember you were saying that, you had a bunch of songs that you had
Mm.
produced, written that you wanted to put out, and it's been really cool to see the response of that. But do you want to talk about the journey of like what made you decide to, want to start writing your own stuff and then releasing it as well? Because I know a lot of
Yes.
songwriters that like write songs but don't
Don't.
want to like put it out, and
Yeah.
that's totally fine too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was that process like? Was there like a defining moment of, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna put it out into the world and see what happens?
Gabe, it was terrifying. Yes.
Yeah.
So songwriting itself, I think I wrote my first song in like high school or
Okay.
something. Back in high school, I didn't know the Lord either. So my focus for songwriting then was just like heartbreak
Mm.
and,
Yeah.
the moodiness of being a teenager and all of that. But I do remember starting to write then, not often, but I just found out like, hey, this is a great way to kind of express my feelings and
Hmm.
put it to a melody. And that's when I started to realize like songwriting's possible. Like I could do
Yeah.
this, but I didn't prioritize it due to school and other things I was involved in.
Hmm.
So the reason or how I got to this point of releasing my own music is I'll try to keep this story somewhat shortish, but
No, you're good.
in 2024, I got laid off from my job. I was a UX designer, or product designer is the other name for it, and it's a great job, great paying job, like remote. That's how I got to Texas and all that. Company was great, wonderful coworkers, but unfortunately the company was not doing great financially
Mm-hmm.
and started kicking people out before I got kicked out, and then bam, my whole team just about got let go.
Hmm.
And with that, I could have just stepped into a new role as a UX designer like my other coworkers were doing, find another job, get paid well, move on with life. But I really had felt, even before the layoffs, like God was kind of instilling in my heart that there is a different purpose for me, I guess. And I was just kind of ignoring it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I didn't necessarily know what it was, but I kept hearing from other people, or again, the conviction in my heart to like use the gift of music, but I just wasn't doing it because it's hard, after you're outside of school, you don't really have a place to express yourself that way. Because like always in school, it's like, okay, I have an excuse. I have gospel choir, I have this choir, I have like friends around me
Hmm.
all the time who are doing music, and it's easier. But once you're in the real world, working all the time, it just was on the back burner, I'll say. And so, long story short, again, so with the layoff, it really just, it was like one of those moments in life where I felt God was just trying to get my attention a little more, a little more.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of just hopping into another job and applying to any job, I just took a pause. Like I literally just said, okay, God, what do you want me to do? Like, let me just relinquish some control here and ask you instead of asking myself or those around me what I should do.
Mm,
Like, let me just go to the source because I really was starting to feel convicted and felt, I don't want to. I know it sounds dramatic, but it's like I don't want to die. Look to Jesus, and Jesus says, "Why didn't you do what I told you to do? Like,
yeah.
why were you just doing your own thing, with the bandwagon instead of following what I told you
Mm,
to do?" And so I started to feel kind of convicted heavily, or not
mm,
kind of, I was heavily
mm,
convicted, and just began to pray a lot and take a breather. Like instead of applying to jobs, I was just like reading the word,
mm,
like reading the word, praying, taking it, waiting for God to speak. And again, I already had felt he told me the music thing, but I was really at this point just trying to, I was in disbelief, I guess, like, no, that just
mm,
doesn't sound viable.
mm,
That's a no money maker type thing. I'm
mm.
making, six figures here. Let's keep that ball rolling.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he just kept pressing and pressing. So I said, okay, maybe I should listen here. And so it took me a few months, but I think no, it took me more than a few months. It took me, I probably a little over a year at that point. Yes, because I started releasing music in August of 2020.
Okay.
That was the first time I released. So it's been less than a year since I've really truly been doing this. But
Yeah.
in the summer of 2024, a few months after the layoffs, I began to start looking into creating my own music and stuff because that's just truly what I God press in on me
Mm,
to do. And so that's truly the reason why it wasn't really even coming from me, where it's like, oh, I mean, mind you, yes, these are things I've always loved music and it's been a passion of mine. But at the same time, I would not be pursuing it like full
mm,
time or like pursuing it as seriously by like releasing music. And that's mostly because of fear, I think.
mm.
And just not having the knowledge of knowing how to do it. But again, because God, it really felt like he was just pressing. And so with that, I began to be obedient and
Mm.
slowly walk in step with that. And here
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, and I think for you, it's as you're describing, and I think this is how it is for so many creatives
Yeah.
of like there is this calling, and whether
Yeah.
that's like as we're talking about, maybe like from God, from our Creator. I
Yeah.
think there's other, that could be an example of calling. It could be just something within you, and so like yeah, like responding to what kind of God put in front of you, I think is really incredible. And it's kind of, it's this interesting thing of you're being obedient to what you probably knew, deep down
Yeah.
after, like, there was probably a process of like, navigating that, and like as you're
Yeah.
talking about, like kind of being face to face with whatever those fears are as well. And I think that's
Mhm.
like really encouraging, because I think creating something, putting yourself out there, especially like releasing music, especially in this day and age where
Yes.
releasing music is really difficult, and it's really hard to like know what the algorithms are doing so people can even like
Hear it.
hear it, like, it's like so challenging. and
Yeah.
and I think it's, we're in a day and age now where it's like, I think like creators are just kind of stubborn in the sense of like there could be so many things like that point us towards like you just shouldn't release music, but
Yes, definitely.
there's something underneath us of like, I kind of just, I gotta do it. Like,
Got it.
there's almost like not a choice in a sense, in a good way. And I think it's like, yeah, there's just a powerfulness of, there is something, this idea or this theme of a song or whatever it is that you're creating, you want to release that into the world because someone is going to
Yeah.
resonate with that. Someone is going to, relate to that. And I think that's really, really beautiful. So I wanted to talk about your music, like maybe if we can talk about the style of your music, and then we can get into like where people can find your music as well, because I want people to listen to it. But yeah, do you want to just talk about like, we kind of talked about musical inspirations before, but what kind of music are you making, whether that's, yeah, in terms of the genre of music, but then also like what kind of things are you writing about in your music as well?
Mm. Yeah. So I'm gonna answer that. latter question. What
Yeah.
I'm writing about. So the inspiration truly at this point is mostly it's just God, God,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
and just my love that I have for him and the things I've either like learned from
Mm-hmm.
him or with my relationship with him or just the some of these come from just intimate times I've had with the Lord where I've just kind of been in awe. Like for example, my song "Unworthy." That's a pretty bold. That was my first. That was my debut
Mm-hmm.
single. It's called "Unworthy," and I was almost nervous to call it "Unworthy" because, especially today in 2026 or 2025 at the time, like to say you're unworthy. I don't know. I feel like I was gonna get hate for
Mm-hmm.
saying that because people are like, "You're worthy of everything." Like
Yeah.
you are the best, and you deserve everything, and this and that. And there's that song came out of me, and this is how a lot of songs sometimes are created when it comes to my songwriting process. But I was literally like in my room having prayer with the Lord. Like I was just praying to God, and I was just in such a grateful state where I was like, God, you are so good. Like you are
Mm-hmm.
so good. Like you did not have to save me. My story's kind of crazy, so God saved me in a wild, radical way. And so I was just like, dang, he could have left me, but he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I was not trying to seek him out. Yeah, he sought me out. Like that's some wild, deep love. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's where the unworthy, like it just dawned on me. And the lyrics just kind of started to come. Like I really think it's Holy Spirit led, but the unworthy is just the fact that, as people, like we truly aren't worthy of God's love. And that's the point of grace and mercy
Mm-hmm.
that's given to us, right? And I think it's a beautiful thing. And so that's where most of my songs come from, is just inside my heart, like this love, the strong love that I have for the Lord, and just the disbelief, I guess, of how much love he pours out to me, even though he doesn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to. And so that's mostly where the songwriting comes from. So either like intimate times with the Lord and prayer, or sometimes lately too, like I'll create the melody and beats too, which we didn't even talk about how I got into producing. That was a whole other thing. I wasn't planning to produce my own music, but I
Yeah.
also produce my own music.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I'll produce first or like create like a melody and then kind of put lyrics on top of that. But that's
Sure.
in the past, mostly I would try to play my guitar. I don't really play guitar well at
Mm-hmm.
all. Like I know a few chords and the lyrics would just come with that. So it kind of really depends. I don't have a standard, like, this is the process I do
Yeah.
every single time, which I
Yeah.
think is more fun because I think
Yes.
if it was the same every single time, knowing my personality, maybe I'd get bored.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
want it to be authentic. Like, I never
Yep.
want to force it either.
Yes.
I want the lyrics to be genuine as well. So, yeah. So that's what the writing.
Yeah.
I feel like I was talking a lot. You have any questions around that?
No, no, that's really good. Yeah, and I think to the process, like what you're saying, I think each song requires us to like give it our best in the sense of like no song is the same. Like it might be a different
Yes.
process or different
Yep.
thing we're going through. So I think that's really important. Like yeah, if it was just a plug and play kind of thing, that's like it's like more robotic. Like it's just like a that's like not creative, you know. So
Were we going to talk about AI too? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah,
That's
exactly. Yeah, like how much that is a problem too, like
that's
especially in
another
music. Like
podcast episode.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about like your like sound? Like
style.
yeah, and your style.
Good question, Gabe. I think I struggle to even describe my sound
Sure.
because
Yeah.
it's a little unique.
Mhm.
But I would say it's like an indie alternative-ish R&B
Mhm.
atmospheric layers sound. My last one was a little more poppy,
Mm.
maybe I would even say, but generally speaking, a little slower, like
Yeah.
R&B ish, but not your standard normal R&B
Sure.
style. I really enjoy adding, like I said, layers. So I really like playing with my vocals and stuff and putting harmonies in places and stacking. And
Yeah.
I like a lot of reverb and space given into the mix and all that. And sometimes I like even playing with my vocals Because again, what I'm trying to do, like I love electronic music, not
Yeah.
all electronic music, but certain styles and stuff. And so sometimes I'll try to take that and like stick it into my songs somehow. So I might like take my vocal and
Hmm.
chop it a little bit and put it somewhere, and that's been kind of fun. And yeah, that's how I would describe it. How would you describe it?
Yeah, I think that's a good, like, I feel like when you listen, like, to everyone watching this video, when you listen to Leslie's music, you can hear the R&B for sure. And it's interesting talking about the dance kind of electronic
Mm-hmm.
layers, because as soon as you said that, I was like, oh yeah, you can definitely tell it's like you have like that producer mindset with what how you're kind of arranging the songs as well. Um, so I feel like you have that, like, yeah, so R&B, like maybe like dance electronic
Uh-huh.
inspiration, and then there's something else, like there's like another inspiration there that I can't like define, like I'm trying to think of, there's something else in there. I just don't know what it
Like,
is. But I like it. But I just there's something, in there. So I think people should just listen, and maybe they
and let
can,
us know.
yeah, tell us.
Let us know what this
Yeah.
genre is.
No, but I think it's so cool to have, like, as we're talking about, like the merging of all those different genres. And then, like, thematic wise, like,
Yeah.
talking about your experience with the Lord as well. Because I don't think there's a lot of music right now that is like Christian music or faith-based music with the styles that you're bringing in. So I think it's like a really unique thing that I think will connect with a lot of people, honestly. So where can people find you? And then,
Okay.
like, what songs would you want people to check out first?
Yeah. So y'all can find me on TikTok, Instagram. I even have a Facebook account for the oldies out there. But it's it doesn't get as much love, but it's there just in case, just gotta look for the audience.
Hmm.
But my handle is I am Leslie, Lesslea, so IAMLESSLEA. That should be on TikTok and Instagram the same, and YouTube too as well. So YouTube, I actually have like a couple videos on there as well, and I just released my testimony. So if you're curious about why I have this love for Jesus and why I'm on fire for Him and all that,
Hmm.
go ahead and listen to that and let it encourage you or somebody else. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And Gabe, that whole content thing is that's a whole can of worms that I'm
Yeah.
learning how to do, and something else that definitely hindered me from wanting to do this music thing too.
Yeah.
I was like, God, what? I don't want to do all this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Totally.
one step at a time. So that's that. And then as for the song that you should listen to, that's a toughie. But again, maybe my last one, Revelation 12:11, that is literally my testimony in song form.
Cool.
And so that one you can start with. And then if you want to get a whole different feel, go back to my first song. It's called Unworthy
Sweet.
by me as well.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Leslie, for doing this. And yeah, I'll link all that stuff in the video description too. Yeah, so people can check that out. But yeah, thank you so much for doing this. I'm so excited to see, like, where this journey is taking you, and you stepping out in obedience with that too. But yeah, thanks so much
Of
for being on
course.
the show today, and just talking all things music.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It's fun.
Absolutely. It was so fun.